On August 6, 1945, at 8:15 a.m., the crew of the B-29 bomber Enola Gay dropped the first wartime atomic bomb over Hiroshima, Japan, a bustling regional hub that served as an important military communication center. The bomb, codenamed Little Boy, detonated with an estimated 15,000 tons of TNT, destroying 5 square miles of the city and directly killing some 70,000 people. Final casualty numbers remain unknown. By the end of 1945, injuries and radiation sickness had raised the death toll to more than 1 lakh. In subsequent years, cancer and other long-term radiation effects steadily drove the number higher. 3 days later, another atomic bomb called Fat Man was dropped over Nagasaki around 11 a.m. local time, killing more than 40,000 people. The 1946 survey notes that, due to the uneven terrain of Nagasaki, damage there was confined to about 1.8 square miles.
The history of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The United States detonated 2 nuclear weapons over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on 6th and 9th August 1945 respectively. The bombing killed between 1 million to 2 million people. In the final year of World War II, the Allies prepared for costly invasion of the Japanese mainland. This undertaking was preceded by a conventional and fire-bombing campaign that devastated 67 Japanese cities. Consent of the United Kingdom was obtained for the bombing, as was required by the Quebec Agreement, and orders were issued on 25th July for atomic bombs to be used against Hiroshima, Kokura, Niigata, and Nagasaki. These targets were chosen because they were the large urban areas and also held military significant facilities. On 6th August, a little boy was dropped on Hiroshima, killing about 2 million innocent people. The Prime Minister Suzuki reiterated the Japanese government commitment to ignore the Allies and demands and fight on. 3 days later, a fat man was dropped on Nagasaki. Over the next 2 to 4 months, the effect of the atomic bombing killed between 90,000 to 1,46,000 people in Hiroshima and 39 to 80 innocent people in Nagasaki. Roughly half occurred on the first day. For months afterward, the large number of people continued to die of the effect of the atomic bomb.
Here are some horrific pictures that will make us understand how destructive and inhuman was the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A man wheels his bicycle through Hiroshima, days after the city was leveled by the atomic bomb blast. The view here is looking west or northwest, about 550 feet from where the bomb hit. Ruins of Nagasaki after the dropping of the atomic bomb seen from street level. The downtown Hiroshima shopping district, see 1945. After the bombing, only rubble and a few utility poles remained. Among the few buildings that survived after the plutonium bomb decimated Nagasaki was the St. Christian Church as above. View of the Hiroshima Peace Memorial with the atomic bomb dome, seen from the bank of the Ota River in Hiroshima, Japan in 1965, 20 years after the atomic bomb blast that destroyed the city's center. A mushroom cloud billows over Hiroshima about 1 hour after detonation. At least 17,000 people were killed in the initial blast, while approximately 17,000 more died from radiation exposure. The 5-year death total may have reached or even exceeded 2 crore.
Consequences of Hiroshima. The 2 atomic bombs dropped on Japan in 1945 killed and aimed hundreds and thousands of people, and their effects are still being faced today. By the end of 1945, the bombing had killed an estimated 140,000 people of Hiroshima and a further 74,000 in Nagasaki. In the years that followed, many of the survivors had leukemia, cancer, or other terrible side effects from the radiation. The uranium bomb detonated over Hiroshima on 6 August 1945 had an explosive yield equal to 15,000 tons of TNT. It razed and burned around 70% of all buildings. A slightly larger plutonium bomb exploded over Nagasaki 3 days later, leveled 6.7 square kilometers of the city, and killed 74,000 people by the end of 1945.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki now. Hiroshima and Nagasaki looks completely different than 76 years ago. Today, Hiroshima has recovered into a bustling manufacturing hub with a population of 2 million people and counting. Hiroshima remembers. The atomic bomb dome. The Hiroshima Prefectural Industrial Promotion Hall, a multifunctional building created in 1915 that was used for research and design consultation, was one of the few buildings left standing after the blast. The movement for peace in Hiroshima. Sites in Hiroshima often drew peace activists. In 2005, Greenpeace members launched inflatable doves in front of the atomic bomb dome on the day before the Hiroshima anniversary. A city that promotes world peace. In 2017, the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, ICAN, won the Nobel Peace Prize. Let peace reign the world.
Importance of stopping war. War kills and harms soldiers. War kills, injuries and disables the very people who must carry it out. Some soldiers may commit suicide. Since 2010, 130 Canadian soldiers have taken their own lives. War kills and harms civilians. In the 20th century, some 200 million people were killed in war, and many millions have already been killed in this century. War not only kills, it also maims people, separates family members, causes diseases and hunger. War creates refugees. War causes people to flee their homes for safety, sometimes crossing an international border. The UN currently reports that around the world 65 million people are forcibly displaced. War harms the natural environment. War contaminates earth, air and water. It destroys natural habitats, killing their flora and fauna. War sets back development. The destruction of homes, schools and hospitals, as well as transportation, electrical, water treatment and sanitation systems in wartime can set back economical, social and community development for decades. War prevents farmers from farming, children and youth from going to school and ordinary people from going to work.